From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
For the first time in nearly 7 years, the U.S. government has shut down. A stalemate over a spending bill has brought operations to a halt, and a timeline for reopening remains unclear. 1011's Sam Cobb spoke with a couple state representatives today and shares their thoughts on the shutdown.
Danielle, we're now 19 hours into a government shutdown after Democratic senators refused to pass a Republican-backed spending bill. Nebraska lawmakers saying that standoff will only prolong the shutdown and the impact it might have on the people they represent. We spoke today with Senator Pete Ricketts and Congressman Mike Flood, both of whom voted yes on the bill, to hear their thoughts on the first day of the shutdown. Their comments reflect the views of much of their party. They say Democrats' unwillingness to pass the bill without reversing Medicaid cuts made by the One Big Beautiful bill and other health care extensions is the reason for the shutdown. Both lawmakers stressing that compromise is necessary, but they believe middle ground was already reached in the latest proposal.
This is a bipartisan compromise already. It has already been passed by both Republicans and Democrats 4 times in the last 18 months. This is, again, the hypocrisy of the Democrats' position.
We're essentially extending a budget that they have already voted for multiple times, and it's going to require us to find some common ground. And I think we can do that. A government shutdown doesn't help any of that.
As for a timeline, both lawmakers say it depends on when Democratic senators come to the floor and vote yes. Flood adding that if it goes past this weekend, it would be even more troubling, but his office is preparing for it to last, quote, a long time. Both also say they will not accept their paychecks during the entirety of the shutdown to stand in solidarity with federal workers, while both offices have deemed their employees essential to continue working through it. We also looked into the potential impacts of this shutdown in the community, and we'll have more tonight at 10. Reporting in the newsroom, Sam Cobb, 1011 News.
Thank you, Sam. We're also hearing from 2 other Nebraska lawmakers on the shutdown and what they say is needed to reach a resolution. U.S. Representative Don Bacon said, quote, "I think they don't realize that when you have a shutdown, you give power to the president, you give power to the executive branch," end quote. U.S. Senator Deb Fischer added, quote, "Let me be clear. Americans deserve a transparent and accountable process as we fund government, not a Schumer shutdown filled with political theater," end quote. Now, amid concerns about the government shutdown, we checked in with the National Weather Service, which has been in the headlines over program cuts. For meteorologists at the Hastings branch, it's business as usual.
For the National Weather Service, the impacts are minimal to none. In fact, earlier this summer, National Weather Service employees were declared public safety employees and accepted employees, meaning that every person who works for the National Weather Service will be going to work during a shutdown. We'll continue with our mission of weather forecasts, warnings, whatever is needed for the protection of the American public.
And like you heard, under the status of accepted employees, they will still be in office, though they likely won't be paid until the shutdown is over. Turning now to the weather, it still feels like summer out there, even though it's October, and it could get even warmer over the next few days. Ken, how are things looking for this evening?
Danielle, it looks like there'll be a few areas that look at scattered showers this evening. Otherwise, it's mild to warm for most of us for the evening ahead, the first evening of October. And again, it looks like conditions will be mainly dry across the bulk of the coverage area. We'll look at radar in just a second. 2 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock, we're partly cloudy here in the capital city. And we're still in the lower 80s, 82 here at the studio, 83 at the airport. And we've got a bit of a south-southeast wind at 13 miles per hour. As far as temperatures statewide are concerned, we're generally in the mid-70s to lower 80s. That's covering just about everybody. It's 80 in Wayne, 82 in Norfolk, 81 in Albion right now, 80 degrees in Columbus, and 78 in Grand Island, 79 a popular number in York, in Hastings, in Kearney, as well as in McCook. Winds are out of the south-southeast. They're averaging out around 8 to 18 miles an hour with an occasional gust to around 20. Here's a look at the scattered, mainly light activity that continues to dot the landscape in central and portions of southeastern Nebraska. Again, we think the trend for this activity, very light as it is, will be to weaken as we move through the next couple of hours, but we certainly won't rule out a passing sprinkle in a couple of spots. As far as our 10 o'clock temperatures are concerned, they'll continue to cool back from where they're at right now, and at 10 we should be in the low 60s to right around 70 degrees. We'll have complete forecast details coming up, including a continued run of temperatures in the 80s, maybe low 90s on the board the next couple of days. That's way above average for this time of the year. We'll have those forecasts in just a few.
Thank you, Ken. Now to an update tonight. A Northeast Nebraska man convicted of killing 4 neighbors and setting their homes on fire in 2022 is now being required to attend his sentencing in person. He had initially filed a motion to avoid having to go. A 3-judge panel will decide whether he faces the death penalty on November 20th. His wife, Carrie Jones, also convicted for her role, will be in court that day to learn if she gets a retrial. Now, today marks the start of several hearings at UNL, where university departments are discussing proposals to address a projected $27 million deficit. This afternoon, the Community and Regional Planning Program in the College of Architecture spoke out, noting it's the only accredited program of its kind in Nebraska. They warned that cutting it would hurt the state's workforce.
In fact, 41 states host one or more. If UNL eliminates ours, Nebraska will stand alone, an outlier without an accredited program to prepare its communities for the challenges ahead.
The Landscape Architecture program also testified, and we'll share more on that tonight at 10. It's important to note all hearings are live streamed and not open to the public. Now, a project nearly 6 years in the making is taking a big step forward in Lincoln today. The Cultural Centers of Lincoln Collaborative is a nonprofit that's breaking ground on their new hub near 21st and Vine Streets. Our Darsha Dodge was there and gives us a sneak peek at the progress. Darsha?
Well, Danielle, the CCLC has received $15 million towards the new cultural hub, which will house the Asian Center, El Centro, the Good Neighbor, and Malone community centers. The hub is located on UNL property, formerly the Cushman site, and is being developed through a long-term land lease. The building will provide space for staff and programs at El Centro and the Asian Center, support the Good Neighbors Healthy Food Distribution Program, and host the Malone Center's Early Childhood Program. The new facility is expected to cost just shy of $23 million, with CCLC asking the community to help raise the remaining $7.7 million. Lincoln's mayor calls it an important time for this work.
I think we all share and understand that when we celebrate our diversity, we're celebrating our neighbors. When we celebrate equity, we're celebrating the promise of America. And when we celebrate inclusion, we are becoming a better version of ourselves.
Mayor Gaylor Baird adds, quote, "Diversity is not reverse racism. It's how we move forward as a city, state, and country."
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.